My name is JB Bolvedin, and I've built up over the last few years one of the best real estate training companies in the country. I have a huge passion for the business entrepreneurship, and I also have a huge passion for cars. So I decided to get the best real estate entrepreneurs in the country, interview them, and we go through a step-by-step process of what they did to get to where they are today, and we do it driving in some of the best cars on the planet. This is Hot Rides in Real Estate.
Bro, I thought this was like hot rides in real estate, not hot tar and dumpsters.
I'm sorry, dude. The car was supposed to be here a while ago.
But it's been an hour, bro. It's like we're walking and talking. I got other things to do.
It's a nice day at least, right?
Yeah, but I could be doing better. No offense, I could be doing better things than hanging out with you in the tar, bro.
Fair enough, dude. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's just too much, bro. If we're gonna have a game plan, we have to have a game plan. And that's our game plan. You think what I'm thinking?
Yeah, let's do it.
Excuse me. I think you have a taillight out.
Yeah, it looks like right over here. Something's wrong.
It looks like something hit
right
you.
over here, yeah. Billy Alvaro, the unstoppable. Bro, thank you so much, man, for riding with me today.
Good to be here, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Good to be here in this ridiculous vehicle that you got.
What do you think about it, dude?
Yo, I've never been in a Martin. This thing, the look, the white, the red, the black. This is red or orange. It's like an orangey reddish,
yeah,
right?
When the sun hits it, it turns into more of like,
yeah, it's pretty hot though, bro. It's hot. It's quick. And you look styling and profiling this bad boy.
Bro, we're two badasses in the car.
I love it, man.
Dude, yeah, so Aston Martin DB11 Volante, thing MSRP's, this one just under 270,000. It's their Grand Touring. It's their answer to like the Ferrari Bentley combination 2-in-1.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely got a hot look about it.
Yeah, dude.
It gives both of them a run for their money.
Yeah, 100%.
You're a car guy, huh? You love the vehicles?
I love cars, yeah, but I love, dude. I think the car thing is just like it's an expression of everyone's personality. At some point or another, everyone gets their hands on a car that matches them.
Yeah. This is my match right here.
Yeah, dude, that's why I picked it. I was like, bro, this car is Billy.
You picked it right out, bro. What do you drive full time?
Maserati Ghibli.
I love it.
S24.
Yep.
And I also have a Jeep Grand Cherokee, which I love. I think Jeeps are probably one of the best.
Yeah, the Jeeps are a good vehicle. I rolled up in mine today.
Yeah.
It's a good vehicle.
They're a great car, especially on the day-to-day driver and when the winter hits. Because in New York, dude, I know you're in Jersey right now, but you lived in Long Island too.
Forever.
So like the winters, these are not the cars.
No, and the potholes out here are horrible. Town workers don't take care of shit. I blew out more tires on my SL last year and the year before than I have in my entire life. Yeah. I think I blew through like 6 tires in 2 years. Dude.
It's nuts.
Those low profiles, they blow out. If you hit a pothole, they pop.
100%, dude. I had the same problem. It's just like you might as well just have 4 in your garage already, ready to go. Dude, so for those of you who don't know me, I have to say that everyone that I talk to are great people. There's a name that keeps coming up in circles. No matter who I talk to, your name pops up. And when I talk to you, dude, I'm always just like blown away. So, I mean, before we would talk about where you're at, let's talk about what you do today, but then I want to go backwards after that. So what does it look like today? What's your business today?
Very diversified. So we started off as a small rehab and fix and flip and then wholesale type business, but we've scaled. We're doing, on average now, about 140 properties a year, not all renovations. Last year we did just under 60 renovations, the rest were wholesale. We have a rental portfolio of 48 properties, 48 doors that we own. The goal with the business over the course of the next 10 years is to grow this to 5,000 units under management. And so it's not going to happen on Long Island. It's going to have to happen out of state And people are like, why 5,000? Why do you have to go so big? And I don't really think it's a big goal. I just think it's a reasonable number that over 10 years, if you acquire the right assets, and most of them are going to be apartments. Right. I want to try to gear myself away from the single family, my own preference. Some guys like single, some guys like the 2 and 4s. I happen to like the apartments. Yeah. We have a few of them right now that we're into. We have a development project we're doing out east. We have another one in Northport, 36 unit. And I think the Long Island market with the multis, it's good, but the landlord-tenant actions out here are hard. It's difficult to get anything approved, especially in Suffolk County, because there's no real sewer system. It's all cesspool. So you're dealing not only with the town, you're dealing with the Board of Health out east. But the vision is, over the last 10 years, was to build up a war chest of cash, so I can then go out, have the credibility, raise even more money, do the syndications, and get into the whole apartment investing and own these things, and just create generational wealth. And I'm on my way, dude. Like, this year, 2020, is the year for the transition.
Dude, that's awesome. And like, what was when did this start? Like, when did you say, okay, I'm gonna get into this game?
So I got into this. I committed to getting into this July 4th, 2009, of all days, Independence Day. And it was because out of necessity. The last business I was in, we grew it to a point where it was a mammoth of a company, an absolute huge business. And huge doesn't mean the most successful. We had a massive company, but it was massively crazy at the same time. Yeah. And we grew that business to a point where it's doing over $1 billion a year in loan volume, with over 1,000 units a month in loans.
Just so no one misinterprets, you said $1 billion.
$1 billion with a B.
That's right. Wow.
Over $1 billion a year. So a kid with very little education, just barely made it out of high school. I'm not proud of that. It's just the way I was growing up. I never really paid attention in school. And to come out and to vision it first, and that's the key thing. I saw it in my head. I knew what I wanted to do when I got into this mortgage business back in the day. And I had the vision, and the vision became reality. And it's the same thing now with this, with the real estate investing game. Like, anything, I believe, anything you put in your mind and you think about long enough with enough emotion behind it, it eventually, if you take action on it, which you're an action taker, if you take action on it, eventually it's going to come to fruition. Yeah. And so that's life. And people don't get that. And I just had a conversation with a dude at the diner who's 45 years old, and he wants to get into this game. And within a half hour of sitting there, he's a contractor, within a half hour of talking to him, I'm like, look, I want to just be real with you. You are where you are for one reason only. It's because of the thinking pattern that you have. This guy was so negative on his self-talk. Every other word out of his mouth was just, it was finger pointing, and it's not him, and life sucks, and it's this and it's that. I'm like, bro, it's your fucking thinking. Right. Like, your brain, you have to rewire your whole brain. And he's kind of looking at me like, I hope you don't take offense. He's like, bro, I appreciate the reality, like the realness of what you're saying. And you're kind of like, I don't know if he's going to get it or not. He's 45 years old. I hope he does. But I think, JB, most people are where they are in life, whether they're at the absolute highest of high levels or they're stuck in a rut. They're there because of this. Yeah, 100%. You don't change, nothing changes around until you change yourself, and that mindset is like... And it takes work, dude. Tons of work. It's not easy. No. It is not easy at all. Like, we are, every day we're hit with negative factors all over the place, especially the news. That's why I hate watching it. Oh yeah. It's like there's crap all over the place, but you need to like almost insulate yourself in a bubble, push out that negative shit, and you got to be a realist. It's not like there's nothing negative happens. It's whatever happens, you have to learn how to fucking deal with it, make shit happen, pick yourself up, and move forward real quick. Exactly. And I think knowing you for the short amount of time, like, when it comes down to marketing, bro, you got this shit figured out, my man. You are an absolute beast. When you put together that show with Handsome, and you just came in not even really knowing him, and being like, I'm gonna get involved with this whole thing. If you weren't there doing what you did, this shit wouldn't have been nearly as successful as it was. That kicked off because of you putting your fucking all your mobile and your media behind that shit. It was good. Thank you. Good job, bro. Yeah, dude, thank you, bro. It was definitely fun. You're good at it. Yeah, and then we and now with this and the new shows we're putting out, I think it's going to be people are going to enjoy it even a lot more. Even like you said, you thought about the show, and 9 days later it came to reality. Like, that's an implementer. A lot of guys, a lot of people out there that want to do things, they think about it and talk about it for years, sometimes decades, and they don't do shit about it. 9 days. Yeah. Thought, plan, implement, we're here. And check this out. My main video guy, he's stuck overseas because the COVID outbreak happened, so they canceled international flights.
So you know who's been shooting the episodes when we first started? My intern, who I gave an intensive 14-day training to. That's how we did it.
Is that the kid Marco?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Dude.
Is this a little built guy?
Yeah.
He's an animal.
He is.
It's a beast.
No, he's awesome.
That is hysterical. Yeah,
So-
but you know, I was. This is my plan now. What I'm doing, and I was in this whole mortgage industry, and you know, I blew that business up. And when I lost it, you asked me how I got into this. It was July 4th, 2009,
Yeah.
and I really had to step back, and I was in a world of shit, mentally, physically, financially, spiritually. Like, I was shot. It was 3 years of just a lot of pressure on me dealing with the closure of a mammoth company. Like,
And how did that happen? How did that go down? So people understand like the real history of
yeah,
it.
so look, the market crashed in 2008, but what people don't realize is 2 years prior to that, the market was having some corrections. And The Big Short, the movie that came out,
Yeah.
you know, they did a really good job at having people understand what was going on behind the scenes. As a small banker, and at $1 billion a year, I was still considered extremely small compared to some of these huge companies. When we were going into 2015 and 16, I realized that the margins we were getting, we were selling off pools of mortgages, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million pools on the market in Wall Street, and they were buying them at a spread, let's just call it 800 basis points. And over the years, it was very profitable. And it started going from 800 to 600 to 400 to 300 to 200. And I'm like, something's wrong. Like they're increasing their appetite for business. They're wanting us to do more loan volume, but there was a compression on pricing. And I'm like, something is happening here. And as that was happening, the business was just so big, we needed to go out. I went out and did a private capital raise. It called for 10 million. 10 million would have given me enough capital to do what I needed to do. The guys that invested in the business only gave me 4. So
wow.
like, you don't need to be a fucking rocket scientist to realize you shortened me 6 million. Like
Right.
the plan that I gave you is not going to be realized with a $4 million influx and a $6 million short.
Right.
So they're like, you got to go out and raise more money. So that's what we did. I got the 4. I then went right out to the street. I did my presentations. I figured out exactly what I needed to do. And we got a company that was in, they were in Las Vegas, in Nevada. And we figured out that we negotiated to do a reverse merger with them. And we had 4 or 5 different companies that were going into this reverse merger, and it was going to be a $250 million market cap. And you know, we were going to have 20% of the new business. And I presented this to the first round of investors who had the $4 million in with interest. It was like 4.8. And they just didn't like the deal. And we were hemorrhaging, dude. We were bleeding. We went from making a shit ton of money to then hemorrhaging, because just like all the big businesses, Amazon lost hundreds of millions of dollars a year before they became profitable, right? When you're growing like that and you're making shit happen, you're gonna go into the red until you can get back into the black. And because we were at a burn rate. And so it was extremely stressful, extremely trying. It was 18, 20-hour days of trying to make this deal happen. And the first round of investors who we were negotiating with just didn't like the deal. And these were very smart Harvard grads, like intelligent, bright guys, but they couldn't get past the fact that they weren't gonna become whole in the 4.8 million. They were only gonna get about 1.8 to 2 million, right around there, in cash. And they were gonna get a 5% stake in the new entity equity-wise. They didn't like it.
No.
And make a long story short, it ended up going back and forth. They ended up suing me for my employment contract. And when they sued, I had to disclose that to the board. I disclosed it to the board comes back and says, you can't have this going into a new company with a lawsuit, and you know, it's like a scandal. Like, you have to get this thing, make it go away. And I went back to the investors and they pulled it, but they had the right to come back after me and sue. And because of that clause, the whole entire deal fell apart. And I had a decision. I could have continued to put in more of my own personal money into this business, which I saw it was happening. It was going down quick.
Right.
Or I could just let it go. And I decided, you know what, I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. I didn't like the way the business was, where it was going. I didn't like a lot of the people that were around me, and it got to a point where I'm like, I gotta let it go. And I made the decision. And I remember it was tough, man, because I was responsible for hundreds of people that worked there to feed them. Their families relied on me.
Right.
But I couldn't do it anymore. I physically, mentally, financially couldn't do it. It was a no-win battle. It was over. And I made the decision to pull the plug. And at that moment, for roughly a good solid 6 months, I felt relieved, like I had the weight of the world off my back. And I met a very smart man who went through this years prior. He had a very large business that, his name was Sam, that went out of business. And he sat me down and told me, this is what's gonna happen. You gotta prepare yourself. When you have a business of this size and it goes upside down, you're in default, And he laid out what was about to happen. And sure enough, dude, like fucking clockwork, over the next year and a half, 2 years, just about everything he said that was going to happen to me personally happened.
Wow.
With the lawsuits and court. And, you know, I had private fucking investigators sitting across my house that were in the woods taking pictures, and you know, the DA at my house knocking on the door because they thought that I, you know, took the money and fucking went to wherever the hell I went to. And I'm like, it was crazy. And,
wow.
and I took it personal because I put my heart and soul into the business. But the truth of the matter is, the business was just, it got caught up in a time where it was going upside down. We went through a burn rate and it exploded. It imploded, rather. And it took 3 years of my life. I went from, you know, being an extremely positive individual and just making shit happen to falling apart. I mean, I was on the couch. I was heavy into pills, heavy into coke, heavy into drinking, like feeling sorry. You and I were talking earlier about the head. My mind was so fucking weak and I was so upside down, I couldn't get out of my own way.
Wow.
And it took 3 years of my life. And it was July 4th, 2009, where I finally woke up and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And it was a discussion with my wife at the time, and I knew that I needed to do something, and that something was real estate investing. And I still had every excuse in the book: no money, no job, no income, no credit. How the fuck am I going to do it? And thought back, when I started Global, I had none of the above except I had credit. And I'm like, well, I did it once, I could do it again. And it literally was a pivotal moment in my life where everything at that moment, as fucked up as I was on the couch and the stupor of drugs, I kind of just squeezed in. My vision got clear, and the next thing I know, I'm like, I'm gonna do this real estate investing. And I didn't know how. I had no idea how. I knew what. The what was real estate, the how would come later. And it took time, I figured it out, and here we are, fucking 2020, and I'm cranking it.
If you go back in time, would you change anything?
Not one thing, and I'll tell you why. I am who I am and where I am because of everything that I've actually gone through. And you know, there are certain things personally that I might have done or said individually to people that I do regret, but I'm on the path now because of everything that I've experienced. So I wouldn't change a damn thing.
That makes sense, because like, I mean, you learn from that. You become a better person where you are today. The thing I love about your story is that when you hear something like that and it gets that deep, the average person, not even the average, most people will think it's over. That's it. That's all she wrote. And to only be down for 3 years, even though I'm sure it must have felt like the longest 3 years.
God, you have no idea, man. I had the sheriffs at my house every day. I was in court. I fired all my attorneys and went pro se and went to court on my own and like fucking beat every case because the attorneys were sucking $48,000 a month out of my pocket and not doing anything.
Wow.
But I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, dude, that's good. I mean, like that's insane. Like to even be able to, and then you represent yourself.
I bought a course. I you know, an information marketing product online called Jurisdictionary. Whoever wrote that course, phenomenal. Jurisdictionary, how to go to court, represent yourself, and win. And I studied it, and I hired a paralegal because I had no idea how to write briefs. She wrote it. I went to court. I fought, and I won. And once I had one little win, you get that like wind underneath your sails, man, and you're like underneath your wings, and I just started like taking off, and I realized I have the ability to do whatever the hell I put in my head.
Yeah.
And once I realized that, and I started having these small wins, the small wins came into consistent wins, and then I was getting up early. I came off the drugs. I would start working out. I got myself healthy, and I just, every day I made moves going forward, and it was perpetual forward motion. And don't get me wrong, I failed, I fucked up, I got hit, I got knocked down, but you keep on getting up.
Yeah.
You keep on getting up, and if you want something bad enough, like you'll do whatever it takes. That's our motto in our company.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Whatever it takes. We literally do. We live it on a daily.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
I literally have a rule in my office: if it's not illegal and it's not unethical, do it.
I love that. Yo, I love that. If it's not illegal, not unethical, do it.
That's it. Don't even ask me.
Fucking love it, bro.
So where are we, bro? Where'd you bring us?
So this is 5 Sherman. I see my cousin's actually here. He's probably looking at the house. So 5 Sherman is a deal that we renovated. It came to me from one of my private lenders. He called me up. He's like, look, I got a friend of mine, and
No, it's not him. It's he's standing too close to the car, setting off our parking. It's an expensive car, bro. It's good. It warns you.
And the private lender called and said, look, I have a house that you may be able to help us out with, and it was a friend of his, and we assessed the situation. I looked at it, I analyzed it, spoke to the lady. We got it done. I handed it off to the team, and you know, the team took care of everything else, and here we are. My cousin did the renovation part of it, and this is the first time I'm actually seeing a house renovated. I saw it once when it was like a shithole, And now this is the first time we're coming in. Just went on the market, I think, on Saturday.
So now we're actually going to take a look at this project
For the first
a little
time.
bit. And take it first time for both of us.
Exactly, for the first time, no doubt.
Awesome. Let's take a look.
So it was an estate and a foreclosure. Came to us off market. The private investor called me. He's like, look, it's a friend of mine, do the right thing. So we did the right thing by the seller, gave the loan back to the private investor. So the seller made money, the private investor made money, we're making money, the contractor's making money, the realtor's making money. Like, everybody wins across the board. It's your network, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody wins the network. This thing came out nice. This was a disaster. This wall was up. It was a shitty little kitchen over here. The house was, everything was ripped up.
So it went to open floor, more of an open floor plan.
Yeah, it's a tight little ranch, so we had to do what we had to do. We knocked down this wall, opened it up, gave the floor plan. Everything is brand new, soup to nuts. I think we went right down to the studs on this one, and this was like a $75,000 renovation, right? And with us, we know that we're running about $1,000 a day. So for a $75,000 renovation, it's about 2.5 months. Real quick with the numbers.
That's so good too, because this way you can kind of like have a simple formula. It doesn't get complicated.
Right.
You know, time and money.
Right. 30,000, 30 days. 60,000, 2 months. So it's like it's easy to do this. It's like, I think it's a 3-bedroom or a 4. It's a 3-bedroom. Man, this house came out. Look, it's cute.
It is. It looks great.
Cute. It went on the market on Saturday. I think it went up for $459, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this came out great, bro. We stage everything. Here.
Staging is important too, so people can actually like visualize it and see it and really get a better understanding.
We used to do it just online with the visualization and stage it like with the bullshit with the pitches. But we found when people come in, they have to see. People are not visual people.
Yeah.
Well, they are visual. They need to actually realize and see how it's going to be set up.
Yeah.
So they walk in. If you have a blank palette, they can't picture it.
Yeah.
The more you put in, the better it's going to be to sell it. We always get a premium when we stage. So if you're rehabbing, make sure you stage.
Now, obviously you're not walking these properties as much anymore. It's more like based off of the numbers, and you have your team out there, you know, hunting. You have your network reaching out to you.
Yeah.
So what's the best way on paper? Like, so someone just getting started in the business, what's the best way for them to walk a property? Let's say they're not pumping like a machine like you have right now. They're just getting their feet wet.
Right.
How should they walk a deal?
Yeah. So we train all of our guys like this. So we have a very simple 3-page checklist that anybody can go to a house, and with this checklist, all they need to do is look at the roof. Does the roof need to be done? Yes. Is the siding shit? Yes. How many windows? Count them up. So it's really just a checklist.
Yeah.
And next to that, it gives us an average. So for a 1,500 square foot, it's this. Per window, it's that. They simply walk the property, they checklist it out, they add it up, and it's going to give them an idea of what it's going to cost to renovate. And we're generally within like a 4 to 10% variation, you know, spread of where we're going to be. And so we always add on about a 10% fuck up factor. That's what I call at the bottom. And we're always, when we do that, we usually come in at the number that we need to be. And so we've trained guys in the office that had no experience with real estate, no experience investing, not realtors. And with the training that we give them, we're able to basically take ourselves, put ourselves in a box, give it to them, and they can mimic what we do. It's not that difficult. It takes training,
right.
But it's not that difficult. I think people make everything more difficult than it needs to be.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, they think that, like, what if someone who's got like the know-how, but they don't have the money? Do you recommend they save? Do they syndicate? Do they borrow? What's the best way to get started if you don't have a lot of money?
Look, the first thing you said is, you know, if they don't have money. If you don't have money, if you don't have education, if you don't have, you get.
Right.
So you don't need your own money. I started off $14 million in debt. I didn't have my own money.
Right.
So what did I do? I found people with money. I went out and found the deals.
Yeah.
I said, okay, if I don't have the money, I got to learn how to get deals. So I learned. I got really good at getting deals. And once I got a deal, I went out and I gave away the house. I said, you know what? For me, I'm going to have to eat shit for the next year because I have nothing except for a deal. No credit, no income, no nothing.
Right.
So I went to the investors. One of the first ones is the guy who gave me this house.
Wow.
The guy who got me this house just about got me started. He took a bet on me when I was $14 million in debt and said, I'll risk it. It's going to cost you. You're going to pay.
Yeah.
I said, I'll pay. It's not a problem. And then over time, as we built a relationship, I call this guy up right now. He doesn't even look at the properties. He just wires the money to the title company because I've done hundreds of deals with him.
Right.
And over the years of me doing deals with him, I've lost. I've lost on 2 deals that he was involved with. I think it was 2, maybe 1. And I interviewed him not too long ago for my private money show that we're doing. And he didn't lose a dollar.
So he was in a position where we lost, I think it was like $35,000 because it was a bad deal. We got shut down and shit happens. You can't win all the time. But my private investor who put his money in came out 100% whole. And so those guys are smart.
Yeah.
I think the smartest people are not what we're doing on the investment side. I'm buying and finding these properties and flipping. I think the smartest ones are the passive guys who already built their cash and now they're putting their money to work so they no longer have to.
Exactly. Yeah, that's 100%.
Those are the smart ones.
Yeah, I agree with you. I always ask this question too when I'm working with people and I'm training them. Like, what's your definition of capitalism? They'll say entrepreneurship, this and that. And I was telling them, no, capitalism is using money to make money. So if you're not doing that, you can't take advantage of what's going on over here.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, these guys figured it out big time.
Put your money to work.
Yeah.
You have to, it's a velocity of money. Constantly put your money to work, and the speed of that as it grows, it's phenomenal what's going to happen.
I'm calling this. Before 2025, we're going to see Bank of Billy.
It's already happened.
It's already happened. So in the next 25 days.
Yeah, that's happening. You know, the global bank that we had, I'm never going to go down and do a Fannie Mae type thing, but we're definitely doing a private bank. I mean, it's already starting. I'm already lending my own money. I got a line of credit. I'm not going heavy into it because I'm not yet ready to put all my faith behind that. I really have a lot of other pieces in the business that I need to build. Yeah. But for the most part, dude, like, this is the second time I'm in this house. And really the first time I only came here because I was doing another video shoot. I wanted to come in and look at it to see what it was like. I did a little training piece, but 99% of the houses that I buy, I never see them. Yeah. It's systems. We have a system, a very specific process that everything goes through. My guys know how. I look at the numbers. I'll look at the dashboard, but I don't look at specific deals unless it's a hairy deal and they need my eyeballs on it. Then we pull everybody together. We have a complete analysis team that we put together and we look at it. We underwrite it if it's a difficult file.
Makes sense. So basically, it's kind of like what you see like in a mortgage process is DU.
Correct.
And then there's manual underwrite refer sometimes.
Correct.
So you can make your own. Yeah.
We have our own little board. If it doesn't pass and meet the criteria of what we set forth inside the company and it falls outside the box, then I get involved. Gotcha. If it meets the criteria and it falls within the box and it's within a variation, I don't need to get involved. That's good. I sign off at the end, but I don't need to look at every single detail of everything. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to grow. Nobody can grow if they had to look at everything. No. You have good people that run the systems for you. So learn the systems because it's not complicated. You don't need to make the money. You need to find the money. And I guess you got to be prepared to leverage or not maybe make as much margins if you're working with limited resource, but that's going to help you get to where you are today. In the beginning, people have to do what they have to do in order to get the business going. And if you have to give up 80% of the profit in the beginning and eat shit just to understand the process and learn, you're going to pay one way or another. Yeah. You're either going to pay by not making money and sitting back and just wishing and hoping. You're going to pay by fucking up, or you're going to pay by paying somebody else for their knowledge and for their backing. You're going to pay, you're going to pay. You're going to pay, you're going to pay. I mean, why not pay now and fucking reap the rewards later than wait 10 years to try to figure it out on your own? Like, pay for the experience, pay for the capital, pay. Yeah, look, and this guy that you paid with in the beginning, now he's the one who actually brought this deal to you. Yeah. You guys have done a lot of business together. It was so worth it. Hundreds of deals. Wow. And he's a great older guy. Like, I look up to him. He's my mentor when it comes down to certain things. He's a really solid individual. That's awesome. Yeah, good dude, man. And look, I mean, we have a great little house here. This thing is going to fly off the market. Yeah. Great margin. I think we're going to pull in on this one about $75,000 to $80,000 profit, which is, you know, when you're putting in 75 and you're making 75 in the back end, it's a pretty good day. It's a good payday. Yeah, and it looks like you're going to actually have it from acquisition to renovation to market, under contract to sold. That cycle will be probably under 6 months. Way under. So we closed on this property June 29th. And this is October 1st. This house was completed 2 weeks ago, put in the market. So it took us 2.5 months, almost to the dollar, $75,000 a day, $1,000 a day. So 2.5 months start then, and we should within 6 months, 5.5, 6 months, it should be from beginning to end, money in our pocket. Done. It's beautiful. Everybody wins. It's all being done mechanized. You're not here swinging the hammer. You're not here doing any of that. Nah, I can't even change a light bulb, bro. I know nothing about construction. Like, look. If I had to, I could learn it and do it. I choose not to, because once you start doing something. At least me, I just get it. I don't want to learn. I want to learn the process. I want to learn the systems. I want to learn how to manage it, but I don't want to do the work. Yeah, that makes sense because you can't do stuff below your pay grade. You got to be up here because when you focus on this, you can create more. When you bring yourself below that, what starts to happen is you jam yourself up because you do too much. Develop traffic that you don't need to do. Someone else could do. And you need to surround yourself with great people. Yeah. Like everybody's like, oh, you're so good. You did this. No, it's not me. It's my fucking team. Yeah. Like I'm good at picking out the right people to put them in the right seats to build. That's how I built the mortgage company. That's how I'm building this business. It's a team sport. Yeah. And we all win together. When I win, the company wins. Everybody wins. Everybody gets paid off the numbers, off the deal. Everybody, even my bookkeeper gets a piece of the action when the deal closes. Everybody's paid a bonus off the deals. That's even the bookkeeper.
So everyone's it's a sales organization all the way across.
Everybody, man. Everybody gets a piece. Why? Because as the company makes more money, everybody inside of it makes more money. If the company's not doing that well, we all have to pick ourselves up to do better so everybody makes more money. Right? If I win, I want everybody with me on my team to win as well.
Yeah.
I don't like the guys who are only lying in their pockets and not anybody else's.
Yeah.
It doesn't work because eventually they're all going to leave.
Yeah, you gotta create enough. You gotta create enough expansion so that when they expand, they don't hit your walls.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
What I want to do with you is on the ride home, I want to talk to you, and hopefully we can help someone who's actually looking to get started. Give them like a step-by-step guide of like
I would love
what
to
they
do
need
that.
to do, how they need to do it, so we can get like everyone out there winning and they can learn from your successes. And
they could partner up with me. I have a partner with Billy program.
Yeah.
It's at billyalvaro.com. And if they want to learn how to do this, I have a learning process. I have a partner with Billy process. I have an invest with Billy process. Like I have guys and girls that are out there, they may have $200, $300, $500,000 in their 401k, earning 2-3%. And I'm like, why don't you put the money to work with real estate, backed by real estate, with a mortgage and a note? You're not going to have the ups and downs of the cycles with the market.
Right.
It's consistent payout time over time. And guess what? If the deal should lose, like in the stock market, if you lose in the stock market, you lose.
Right.
If the market is bad with the real estate business and the deal doesn't make money, I lose, you don't.
Right.
I lose, you don't lose. So you're 100% covered with your investment. It's a make sense deal.
Yeah.
That's why this guy Lenny loves me. I lost 2 deals over 10 years, but he still made his money.
Right.
He still paid out. I took the hit.
We win or I win, but I never lose. That's how it is.
Exactly right. Good shit, man.
That's awesome. All right, let's take a ride back and let's do this. I want to hear more about the partner with Billy.
Beautiful, beautiful, love it.
Hi, my name is Ryan Riddle, Director of Sales here at Cliffco Mortgage Bankers. I hope you're enjoying the show. Hey, listen, in 2021, we want to see you and all our referral partners succeed. So we have created a revolutionary way of transforming the real estate industry. If you want to become a mega agent, contact us now at success@cliffcomortgagebankers.com. Thank you.
Dude, so thanks for showing me that. And I think a lot of people will actually see like the benefit of being able to understand like concepts, like you said, $1,000 a day, which is super.
It's just, you have to have quick, down and dirty, easy rules when you're looking at a deal to analyze. It doesn't mean it's going to hold true all the time, but it gives you a kind of like, a box to work with, a roundabout. And when you start doing enough of these, you realize, man, there's certain formulas that work, and there's certain things that don't. There's certain things the gurus teach you that just aren't true. But for us, the Long Island market, what the hell is this? Oh, it's him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is that, man? I hear somebody laughing.
So as far as common mistakes you're seeing, what's some stuff you're seeing the gurus say out there, people like, that's just not true?
So the gurus that's saying are not true. So I think the gurus, most of them, they're trying to sell a course. And with that, there's a lot of hype on just how easy this business is. Right? So look, it's a simple business.
Yeah.
This thing stall?
No, it's on auto start stop, which is totally
my truck does. That's crazy.
Non-supercar.
That's nuts, man. It is not an easy business. There's a lot of shit that you have to learn, but when they're out there and they're pushing their product, they're making it seem like anybody can do it. It's really simple, 4 hours a week.
Right.
Press this button, you'll have leads coming into your office. We'll close them for you. Walk away with $40,000 checks a month. Like, it's not like that.
Right.
It takes work, and I don't care what business you're in. You have to fucking work. It ain't gonna happen by you sitting on your ass and reading these courses or going to these seminars. You really need to put in the effort. But with that said, some of the systems, some of these guys that are out there, they really do give, and they really are giving and teaching the people out there the right way. What I found for the New York, New Jersey region is that we are a different breed. We're a different animal. A lot of the shit that they teach when they're teaching from Florida or Ohio or Arizona, there's so many different nuances on making deals happen in New York. Like, we're a litigious state. We're an attorney state. A lot of these gurus that teach, they're in title states. So they're not even dealing with attorneys.
Right.
Attorneys are fucking deal killers.
Yeah.
Like, more people, more students that are out there that see me on social media that are in the New York, New Jersey region, they hit me and they're like, how are you able to do this? I'm told that wholesaling's illegal in the tri-state area. And I'm like, it's just because you're not dealing with the right attorneys. They don't understand. You're dealing with the wrong attorney. It's not illegal, but you're going for advice on your heart to a brain surgeon. Like, he might be the best in his field, but he's not a fucking heart surgeon.
Right.
You got to go to the right guy for the right question, for the right answer. And so, listen, the gurus, like I saw, there's guys out there who say the certain rules don't apply. Our formula is very simple. You know, we have a spreadsheet. We literally, with anybody who doesn't even have a world of understanding of real estate investing, within 5 minutes with the spreadsheet we developed, literally all they have to do is plug in the after repair value. They have to plug in what the rehab costs are on this. We have training for both of those, because those are the two biggest ones that people get fucked up on.
Yeah.
They either overestimate what the value is going to be, and they underestimate what the costs are going to be in the rehab. That's where they get fucked. And we have 2 training modules to train people how to do that. If they plug those 2 numbers into the spreadsheet and they put in what their profit is, what their profit they want their profit to be, it tells them what to offer. It takes in all of your buying costs, all of your assumptions for your hard money costs and your points, all of your assumptions for your taxes, your insurance, your holding costs, your real estate flipping costs. Like, it takes all. I made it. Everything with me is brain dead simple. I want to be able to take a monkey. Not that I have monkeys working for me, but I want to be able to take a monkey and teach a monkey how to do this, because I am not the smartest guy out there.
Yeah.
So I had to model this for guys that are dumb like me to make it very fucking simple, you know. And I've dumbed it down, man. It's like, it's a very simple business, but again, it's not easy.
Right.
It does take time to get trained on, but if you tap into the right systems, the right training systems and training modules, and you're able to implement and execute, if you get with the right ones, dude, you can make a small fortune, and it can literally change your life and trajectory and put you onto a different path in life. It has me, it has for many other people, it has for the people inside my organization. Like, it's the American dream, right?
Yeah.
Real estate investing. Everybody
100%.
wants to do it. Everybody wants to do it.
It's the sexiest thing. It really is. Like, real estate's sexy. Everyone wants in. Everyone knows it's a wealth creator. A lot of people overcomplicate it because it's considered such a high ticket thing. And for many people, just being able to buy one home, aside from investing, is considered like a major milestone.
Correct.
So trying to fathom doing hundreds is some people can't even comprehend it, but they don't realize it's actually easier to do that to not hundreds, but it's easier to flip a home than to buy a home to live in.
It really is.
Yeah.
The money's readily available.
Yeah.
For the most part, if you get private capital, they don't care about your credit.
Right.
You can partner up on deals. You could literally start this business and go into it not knowing a damn thing. Within 6 months of self-study and development, with no money, no credit, and no job, you can take an idea and turn it into a $60,000 payday. I did it with nothing. And if I could do it, anybody out there can do it, but you just have to have the right training, and you have to have the balls and the desire to do it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these people, they wish about it, they talk about it, they pray about it, but they don't actually fucking do anything about it.
Right.
They have to do something about it, man. Like, anything you want is about the act of doing. You know, this thing where, you know, the power of law of attraction, I'm just gonna think it's gonna come my way. No, man, you gotta act on that shit.
Yeah.
And that's what people fail to realize, that it does take work and it takes implementation.
100%. This is why I tell people, like, so your imagination is a simulator. What it does is it runs simulation on something, and when you can run simulation on it, that means that's the first step of your developing the actual thing. Just like when you develop an aircraft or an airplane, it goes through a simulator first.
Yep.
So some people have a hard time in running simulation, but a lot of people realize that once they run simulation, like you said, they believe like that's what they did. No, that's just the first step to be able to actually get it done. And if we talk about mindset for a second, we see a lot of people get jammed up for a lot of different reasons mentally. Maybe they're going through something. Maybe they don't have confidence. Maybe they're scared out of their mind, but they want to do it. And what do you tell someone who really wants it, but they are unable to kind of like make it happen?
Yeah, good question. So there's really 2 paths, depending on where you're at in your life, that you can go down when it comes to making something happen. There's the MFA, the massive fucking action spot, which once you have enough movement in your life and you have things going, at that point you can take massive fucking action and make things happen quickly. But when you're in a state where you're in depression, or you're somebody just passed away in your life and you just can't get stuff going, or you're coming off of drugs, whatever it is, you're at a really low state, confused, not able to really even get out of bed in the morning, you have to look at the small wins. It's completely opposite end of the spectrum. Massive fucking action versus small wins. So the guys or the girls out there who are having a hard time trying to get something going, I would tell them, look at just having a small win, and then take that small win and build upon it. And for me, the small win literally was just getting out of bed in the morning, not drunk. Yeah. Like, that was a small win. And when you build up one small win after another, and you do this consistently, because you know 30 days habits form.
Yeah.
You do this think about it, every day is a miniaturized 30-day stay. So for one day I would win. I would turn that one day into 2, the 2 days into a week, the week into 2. Before I know it's a month, I have a habit. And then I would work on my next small win. And so if they're in a state where they need to get out of their way and they need to get something going, start with the small wins and celebrate them and acknowledge it. Don't make it into a big deal. Don't brush it to the side, because if you're fucked up and you did something good, celebrate it and say, tomorrow I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
And tomorrow I'm going to do it again. And once you start getting that momentum, then it's time to take massive fucking action. And that's when you really got to go balls to the wall and do a lot of things that are going to get you results. And with me, it was like, when I finally started getting momentum and I realized I can do this, I became a knowledge hound. I realized that if I soaked up what I needed to do to learn about this real estate investing, and I soaked it for 6 months, but I didn't just soak and learn. I soaked, I learned, I studied, and that next morning I went out and I fucking implemented. And I attacked and I implemented and I attacked and I implemented. And I just took massive fucking action on the daily. And before you know it, man, like, you have 30 days behind you, you have results, and you're going into a different way of life, a completely different path. I don't know, it's two completely different mindsets, but both of them get results. But if you're all fucked up, you gotta start with the small wins, and then you gotta move right over to the fucking massive fucking action.
So you got to get wins, right? Like, just get wins.
Small wins.
And then from
there. As little as it is, getting out of bed.
Right.
You know, if you're fucking depressed, you're in bed, get out of bed. Take a fucking shower.
Yeah.
Like, make it a win, man.
Yeah.
I'm talking from experience.
Yeah.
You got to have those small wins. You can't think you want to get into this real estate investing and tomorrow you're going to go out and do 10 deals. You know, what would be a win? It would be, let me make an offer. Let me go to a house and look at a house today. That's a small win. You might not know what the fuck you're doing, but go look at one. Let me learn on how to do an after repair value. Let me take a course on how to figure out how to value a property. That's a win. Let me analyze the property to see if I can come up with the right valuation. Then go to a realtor and say, am I roundabout where I need to be? Or go to another investor and say, that's a small win. You're moving in the right direction every day.
Right.
You know?
That's huge.
It's everything, dude. It's everything. Momentum. People need momentum. They need to move forward, and they need to realize they're going to fail, they're going to fuck up, they're going to make mistakes, they're going to fucking screw things up. They can't be afraid. They need to fucking learn, pick themselves up, and fucking move forward. And a lot of guys get jammed up when they trip up because they're like, see, it doesn't work.
Right.
See, I fucking knew it, and that's the wrong mentality. That's the victim mentality. That's the fucking self-limiting belief mentality. That's the mentality of always self-loathing and saying, holding yourself back because you can't get out of your own way. You gotta realize the whole game is failure.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm not a sports guy. I think we spoke about this.
Yeah.
Batting averages. Like what's considered a fucking like a top player in baseball? Like 250 batting average or some shit?
I think so, because you're talking to another guy who's not a big sports guy.
So, like, that means they're going up to bat and they're not, they're either striking out or they're not getting on base, like, you know, 7 out of fucking 10 times.
Right.
But 3 times a hit to make it a hit.
Right.
So think about that analogy. Like, in life, it's all about getting up to bat. And the more times you get up to bat, the more swings you're going to make. You might strike out, you might fucking fly out, but you're going to eventually get the hits, and it's those hits that you need to celebrate.
Right. That's huge. And I think a lot of people don't even get that. And I actually have a rule that I talk about. It's a rule that no matter what you're trying to accomplish will work every single time.
What is it?
It's 2 steps. Whenever you're trying to get something done, bypass all routine, increase discipline.
Bypass all routine.
And increase discipline.
And increase discipline.
So here's what I mean by that. Like, all right, so, and this is the best example is for parents. I tell someone, like, whatever you're trying to do, the routines you had in place cannot facilitate that, or else it would have happened. So I tell people, like, imagine, like, did your routine change after you had a kid? And they say, of course. What if you didn't change any routines and your kid was born? You'd be a bad parent then, wouldn't you? If you had the same exact routine before they were born. Like, yeah, I guess that's true. I was like, all right, so what about your business, bro? Bypass all routines. Whatever routines you have on a new venture will not facilitate the success of what you want. It's impossible.
I love that, dude.
So, and then once you increase discipline, then you start to understand. It starts to make a lot more sense faster. But a lot of people try to keep routines that make no sense. Like, dude,
they no longer work.
Yeah, it doesn't facilitate what you want.
Yeah.
You know, and they're trying to preserve that for no reason. And It works a lot better that way.
Well, they're sticking with what they know.
Yeah.
And certain people are just afraid to get outside their own box and realize that if you're going to change and you're going to grow, if you're going to grow, rather, you need to change.
Right.
You need to change the way you're doing things, the way you're looking at things, the way you're responding to things, the people you're hanging out with. Like, change needs to happen in order for you to get to the next level. And, you know, owning and starting a company, you're going to need a different skill set from a company that's doing $2 million a year, and you're going to need a completely different skill set with a company that's doing $10 million a year, and another set of skill sets that's doing $100 million a year.
Right.
If you stay the same person, to your point, you're never going to be able to get to that next level. You need to evolve and grow as an individual.
Exactly.
And that goes right into your thing, man. Changing your routine. But discipline is everything, bro. Like, discipline is everything. Discipline is where it starts. You have to have discipline to do things when you don't want to do them, and it's that discipline that gets you to the next level. You know, look about health. These days, I mean, I got this pandemic, I went balls to the wall just making sure that in the first month and a half that things were good, because I went right back to 2006 and 8 where I lost my business, and I'm like, look, this could be a catastrophe, and I don't want to go down that road.
Right.
So I went like war zone mode, locked myself in the office, my home office, cut back $72,000 a month in overhead, and I focused so much on my business, I let my health go. And I'm always trying to keep my balance. I looked in the mirror, I gained fucking 18 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm not consistent, I'm out of fucking whack. So I had to get myself back into the process of being consistent, having the discipline to get up and work out when I said I gotta go to in my home office and start working, block out your hour in the morning to do your health. And so, to me, I don't know, I think you have to have the mind, the body, the spirit, the business, all that needs to be working at one time, and that's the MFA. It's the massive fucking action on all fronts of your life. You can't focus just on one aspect of your life, because the other pieces are gonna fall apart. Your health is gonna go to shit. But without your health, without your mind, you're fucked.
100%.
You got the best business out there, you're fucked. Without your wife and your kid at home, taking care of them and having a good relationship with her, your business can be the most successful, you're fucked.
Exactly.
You don't want to be fucked in any area of your life. It's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be an area that's going to slip a little bit, but you need to be able to push that one area up and realize that you have to it's just like juggling, man.
100%. Question for you. Speaking of MFA, should we take massive fucking action, just punch this thing for a second?
Kill it, bro. Like, fucking kill it. Oh my god. Oh my, look at this.
This is
Jamie's
genius.
gonna kill us. Oh my
Wow,
god.
this guy's a genius.
Right in front of you. Like the G-force.
Yeah, dude.
Like fucking push back into the seat.
Dude. So how does someone partner with you? Because you mentioned there's an option for someone to be able to partner with you. They have money, they're looking to do something. How does that work?
Yeah, so I have a three-pronged approach that I have with the Billy Alvaro brand that we created. So it's BillyAlvaro.com. I have people who, they have money, they want to invest. And there's a lot of people that have cash, they want to get into the real estate investing aspect, but as you know, it takes a certain skill set, and you have to become an expert when you're trying to do this. Like, I wouldn't just advise anybody to go out there if they have $200,000, not get trained on what to do it part-time, invest your money and hope for the best. Like,
it's dangerous. Yeah.
Very dangerous. So if there's people out there that have minimum of 50, up to $2 million, and they want to put their money to work so they no longer have to, we have really good programs for them at BillyAlvaro.com. It's Invest with Billy. We created a 50-page white paper on the differences between private mortgage notes versus the stock market versus investing in single-family real estate versus bonds versus T-bills, mutual funds. Like, it's an in-depth 50-page report that we can give them. If they go to the site, just hit Invest with Billy. One of my assistants in the office will send it over to them. I think it even might be automated by now. And then we have Partner with Billy, where there's people out there who, they might be really good at finding deals, or they might be really good at taking down deals, but they don't have the money, they don't have the time to do it, they don't have the expertise to run the rehab side of the business, or they might be really good at finding them as a wholesaler and they want to make a little bit more money, or they just don't know how to analyze. They know they have a deal, but they can't analyze the right way. Partner with Billy is a killer program, because my staff, my company, we're here. It's not me, it's the whole business. Like, when they come into the Partner with Billy program, they have a deal, we're able to look at that deal, analyze that deal, figure out how we can make the deal happen, cut back if there's any issues. The biggest thing we're great at, dude, is figuring out how to solve the problems that are associated with the title and with the property itself. And we create these limited partnerships on just the single deals that we're doing. People partner us, and when they make money, we make money, everybody makes money, and everybody goes home smiling.
That's awesome.
And then the third one is Learn with Billy. So about a year and a half ago, I did a 3-day event, and I was teaching people from stage, and I did this one-on-one coaching. And the Learn with Billy that part of it, I like being on stage and teaching. What I didn't like was the one-on-one with newbies after the fact.
Right.
Because in order for me to spend time with them, they're not going to be best served unless they have a certain level of understanding. So to Learn with Billy, we're creating this whole online platform for learning on how to do exactly what I do New York style.
Yeah.
And this, if you can do it in New York, and you know the old saying, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Right.
What we're going to teach is going to be applicable to California, to Arizona, to Florida, to Ohio, to bumfuck fucking Michigan. I don't care where you are. Like, it's going to work, and it's going to take over the industry by storm. So to Learn with Billy B's, not 100% done yet. The whole platform is being built out, but I'm really fucking excited about that, because for me to be able to give back and share my 25 years knowledge of doing this, of having the mortgage experience, having the title experience, having the investing experience, the rehab experience, the building $1 billion business experience, teaching somebody to go from scratch and not making any money to building up whatever their level of success is, or their definition. If it's a monetary amount, they just want to make 100 a year, or they want to make $500,000 a year, or they want to have a net worth of, whatever, 3 million, or they want to have passive income of 15,000 a month, whatever it is they're looking to accomplish. I think with the Learn with Billy platform, when it finally arrives, it's going to be a game changer for them and for everybody out there.
Dude, I love it. Dude,
It's exciting.
And I always love talking to you. You always get my brain flowing. I always get like more excited ideas, dude. Dude.
It's fun, dude. Because
Yeah.
when you hang out with people who have similar values and similar things, it's like good things happen, dude.
Yeah.
And you're one of those dudes. Like, you get it, and I appreciate being around you. And I love the fact that you asked me to be on your show.
Dude,
I'm honored. I'm privileged, bro. Honestly, it's been a really good couple hours with you.
Absolutely. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
It's been fun.